If you are thinking of moving to Lake Worth, Florida, if that's the case, then this video is for you. Welcome to Lake Worth, Florida. My name is Ray Fernandez. I'm with Living in Palm Beach, Florida, powered by eXp Realty. Welcome. If this is your first time to our channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button there over in the corner. While you're at it, ring that bell. What that'll do is that'll notify you each time we put out a new video. We put out new videos every single week. So if you're thinking about moving to Florida, if you're thinking about moving to South Florida, if that's the case, then this channel is for you. 16 years ago, my family and I relocated to this beautiful part of the world we call sunny South Florida, and we haven't looked back. Today, we truly find honor to help people, perhaps like you, do exactly the same thing. So if you're considering moving to South Florida, and if you want to get some advice, some guidance from people who've actually done it before, there's a few ways to get a hold of us. Down below is our email address. That's one great way. Also on the screen, there's our phone number. You can either call or text that number. In addition to that, two of the best ways to get a hold of us is in the description and the comments section. There's a link. Click on that link. What that'll do is that'll set up some time for us to speak either through a phone call or through a Zoom, whatever way you feel most comfortable. In any case, we have your back when it comes to relocating to here to sunny South Florida. We have helped so many people relocate this beautiful part of the world we call Florida, and we absolutely love it. Lake Worth is in central Palm Beach, Florida. It is really large. In fact, if you go look at the east part of Lake Worth versus the west part of Lake Worth, they are very different. The east part is all the way by the ocean. The west part is all the way by Wellington. And I tell people, if you're thinking about this area in Lake Worth, it is important that you know the areas before considering moving here. One of the best ways I find, I know that if I were looking here to move to Florida, one of the best ways I would want to explore and understand the area is by a map. So here in moving to Lake Worth, Florida, I'm going to incorporate the map to show you some of the highlights that Lake Worth has to offer. So here is a map of South Florida. Now, the southernmost part, as most people know, is Miami, Florida. So to find Lake Worth, you go straight up here. It's 64 miles from Miami to Lake Worth. Lake Worth is shadowed by the biggest city in Palm Beach, which is West Palm Beach. It's about 110,000 people live there. And Lake Worth is just to the south. So we are going to zoom out and we are going to go to the world famous Lake Worth. So as I mentioned, there is a huge difference between eastern Lake Worth and western Lake Worth. In fact, so much so that here's Lake Worth Road. Lake Worth Road is the main road through Lake Worth. So you have so much so that this is now, as you can see here, is now called Lake Worth Beach. 2019, the people, the government of the officials of Lake Worth wanted to make this sound a little bit more fancy. If you notice, a lot of places in Palm Beach are labeled with beach. It makes it a little bit more exotic, I guess. So you have like Delray Beach as one of them. You have Juno Beach. You have Jupiter, but a lot of people call it Jupiter Beach. But all these places have beaches in their name just to make it a little bit more exotic. And I'll go a step further. So if we go up here to Royal Palm Beach, it is nowhere near the beach, but they have the word Royal Palm Beach. Again, people like to put the word beach in, people around here to just make it seem a little bit more exotic. So Lake Worth, and of course, West Palm Beach. Lake Worth is no exception. They call this area right in here Lake Worth Beach. It has one of the most beautiful beaches. It truly is. Lake Worth Pier is right through here. If you come to the end of Lake Worth Road, you come to the beach. You come to Lake Worth, the Lake Worth Beach Park. But more importantly, you come to Lake Worth Beach Pier, which is right here. Benny's on the beach. We're going to go to Benny's on the beach in a minute. Lake Worth Beach Pier is one of the nicest piers in Lake Worth. If you are moving to Lake Worth, you're going to, even if you're in the western part of Lake Worth, which a lot of the people we help move here at Living in Palm Beach, Florida, happen to want to relocate to the western part of Lake Worth because there's There's lots of reasons. One of which there are some areas where they have some fantastic schools. So if your schools are important, you need to reach out to our team. We can guide you as to what you want to look for. Some of the better schools in Lake Worth are more towards the west. You'll find that the eastern part of Lake Worth is a lot more city. So the pier is beautiful. The pier is similar to the pier that you have in Palm Beach. You have basically two big piers. Actually three, I guess you go. Jupiter's a small one, but you have Juno Beach Pier and Lake Worth Pier. They both jet out a really long way, roughly 900 feet. So when you are on the pier here at Lake Worth, you will be standing at the end of the pier. So first, let me get this out of the way. If you are on the pier, it'll cost you $1 to walk down the pier. Great. If you want to fish, which is some of the best fishing is there, it will cost you $4. And anyway, so when you go to the end of the pier, you can stand out there and look out, and you will see like ocean, nothing but ocean. You will feel you are in the middle of the ocean. It is amazing. So if you go to Lake Worth Pier, I highly advise pay that $1 and just walk to the end and just check out the beauty of what Palm Beach has to offer. It is one of the most beautiful vantage points to understand the beauty of South Florida, Palm Beach, and of course Lake Worth. So if you are moving to Lake Worth, and you're near the pier, I'm going to go to Benny's on the Beach right now. It's one of the most famous restaurants. If you want to go out for like a special event, Mother's Day is a great example. It's a great place because you could literally be on the water and basically have lunch right on the water. So I say Mother's Day because you will have to wait. You will have a long wait, but you know what? There's no better place to wait than here. It is you have the beauty of the ocean. You have the park, the Lake Worth Park over here. So, but if you're going on at a high time, whether it's Father's Day, Mother's Day, or Easter, or any of those days, you need to plan accordingly and get there. My advice would be to get there way in advance of what you want. And even then, you might wait literally a couple hours for there. But Benny's on the Beach is nice. Everyone knows Benny's on the Beach. It's one of the advantages to living here in Florida is that we're off the ocean, obviously, and we have great seafood because these people catch their seafood that morning. So you can rest assured when you're at Benny's on the Beach, a restaurant, and any of those other seafood places in Lake Worth, you will rest assured that that food is caught that morning, literally, and so it is as fresh as can be. So if you are moving to Lake Worth, Florida, I'm going to focus more. I'm going to go into the communities a little bit more later. I'm going to try to get that in as soon as I can. I just let the map take me where it takes me when I do these videos. But a lot of the people live out in this area here, further west. So, and a lot of the communities that we place people in or we help people move to are out that way for lots of reasons. Whether it's the schools or people want more space. That's what Lake Worth has to offer, the western part of Lake Worth. There's some great communities out there, and even Wellington is there. So if you want to, I've done lots of videos on Wellington, Florida. So if you want to look at those western communities, Western Lake Worth and Wellington are two of the great places to consider if you're moving to Palm Beach and if you're moving to Lake Worth, Florida. So one of the cool things about this area is it's so diverse. You have like it's a lot of history here. Like this is called the College Park Historic District. It's a little bit north of where if you go from Lake Worth Road, which is the main road through the area. So there's a lot of like this area in here is very, very historic. It's the borderline of West Palm Beach. If you go up here, you are basically hitting West Palm Beach. So Southland Park is another one. You have some really high-end areas up there. But Lake Worth is one of those places you just need to be a little bit careful because there are good places and there are bad places. If you Google crime in Lake Worth, Florida, you might not like what it has to say. More on that. So sometimes Lake Worth gets a bad rap. If you look up, you just Google Lake Worth, Florida, and one of the just items that I came across right from the top is there high crime in Lake Worth? And the answer is in some spots there are. So when you are considering to move to this area in Palm Beach County in general, it is important that you work with a realtor who understands the different areas. West Palm Beach is a lot like that too. There's some great areas in West Palm Beach, and there are some not so great areas that I would definitely avoid. So in terms of crime, it is considered Lake Worth in general, to be in some areas to be above average. But on the other hand, there are so many nice, beautiful areas. So it's important to know, when you're working on relocating to move down here, that you work with someone who understands the differences between the different parts of Lake Worth. So continuing on, we're looking at some of the downtown area here. This is basically your downtown area right through here. And there's just a ton here, basically between Route 95. I say 95 as if everyone knows what I'm talking about. Route 95, which is one of the main roads through the United States, east, north to south. From 95 onto the pier. This is sort of your downtown area. There's this road, Lake Avenue, that goes along. That's adjacent to, perpendicular to Lake Worth Road. So where a lot of shopping is. There's a lot of great restaurants here. Let me see if I can find a couple of them for you. The one that comes to mind right off the top of my head is Paradiso. It's in here somewhere. Paradiso is, I found, just to tell you a little bit of story, I found Paradiso years ago. My wife and I were in a wine club, and we went to all these great restaurants that had nice pairing of food and wine. Paradiso was one on the list, and we still love that place. It's one of the nicest restaurants. There we go, right there, Paradiso, Italian, and it's got how many stars? It's got 3 stars, $3 signs, which I'm thinking means a lot. It is a little bit on the expensive side, but if you want like good wine pairing and all that, that's a great place. I don't care if you live in Lake Worth or not. This is a good place to go. Continuing on, I'll go to some of the more casual places. This place here, we have a few of them around. There's one in Boynton Beach. There's one in Wellington. 2J's. It is a New York style deli. So like New Yorkers love this place because if you want like a pastrami sandwich, pastrami on rye, this is where you go for it. They have like a lot of that old town or corned beef. They have like that old town, old city type of cuisine. It's just casual, but it's fun. My daughter loves going there. We don't go as often as we really should, to be honest with you. Here you have the Vincent's Bakery, so the French bakery. So there's a lot of like international foods here in this area. And you're moving to Lake Worth. I don't want to make this a restaurant video, but you want to know that there are places to go out if you're living in Lake Worth and you want to move to Lake Worth. Deliciosa's Cuban Bakery. This place is they have one over in Wellington, right near where I live as well. This is a great place. I mean, if you want like guava pastries, and we go there when we want to go, we go to trip. Like when we go to Disney, as an example, we leave really early in the morning. We have Disney passes. A few years over the course of our 16 years here, we've had them a few years, maybe 4, maybe more. And on the way to Disney, we would stop over here in the Cuban Bakery, and we would get like a bunch of empanadas and a bunch of stuff for the road, so we can save time. We go pick them up and then drive up the Florida Turnpike, which is a little bit further west. We'll get to that in a minute. It's one of the best ways to go north and south in Florida. And we would stop there and get that stuff. So again, if you're moving to Lake Worth, Florida, if you're moving to South Florida, one of the big benefits is you as a Florida resident, you get the pass holder pricing for Disney, and you can treat Disney like where people come from all over the world to here in South Florida. You can treat it as if it's almost as if it's in your backyard, which is one of the nice things about moving to South Florida. So Disney from Lake Worth is probably about, depending on traffic, obviously, is about 2.5 hours. So it's not like it's right next door, but at the same time, it's close enough where you can make it so you can leave Saturday morning early and spend Saturday and Sunday, leave a little bit early-ish in the late afternoon, and make it a weekend. And with the Disney pass, it is really cost effective. Continuing on with downtown, This place is nice. I like it. It's Dave Last Resorts and Raw Bar. I remember discovering this with my son many years ago. We were just walking through downtown Lake Worth, and we came across it. We stopped in. There's oysters there. If you like that kind of stuff, like good shellfish and stuff like that, this is a place I would definitely go. So there's so many restaurants here. I'm gonna leave it like that. So when you come over here, let's go back to the pier. First off, the reason Lake Worth is called Lake Worth is a General Worth in the Seminole Wars way back when. I don't want to bore you with the history so much, but that's where Lake Worth got its name, from General Worth. It's not because it's worth a lot of money, but that's where it sort of got its name. And it's also named after this body of water, which is called the Lake Worth Lagoon. That's sort of like your intercoastal. Anywhere's along here, this is your intercoastal here. And some of the homes in this area are just beautiful. If you want a home on the intercoastal, you can expect to pay a lot of money. If you're looking at Lake Worth and you want to live in Lake Worth, there along the pier, there are some nice condos. So again, you walk out to the end of the pier, it looks like you're in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the ocean. If you turn around and turn your back, you can see this skyline full of condos. Those are good places. A lot of seasonal people are there. This is one thing that you need to reach out to our team on this. If you're thinking about buying a condo, there is an aspect of buying a condo here in Florida that you definitely want to be aware of. Insurance, homeowners insurance and insurance in general in Florida is a problem. It is a con when it comes to moving and living in Florida in general, because just the hurricanes. There's been a bunch of fraud with the attorneys and people and the public adjusters coming after going after the insurance companies and costing them a lot of money. That a lot of these people are in fact moving out of the area. So that's a problem when it comes to insurance here in Florida. The condos are beautiful here, but if you want to buy a condo, whether it's Lake Worth or anywhere, reach out to our office and we'll be happy to let you know what's involved in the cost of insurance and what you can expect, what your association fees is where I'm really going with this, what you should expect with your association fees when moving to Lake Worth and moving to Palm Beach. Okay, moving on. We have some nice areas here. Like there's your Four Seasons. There's down in Manalapan. There's another. Here's a Carlton. That's one of the condos here, as you could tell. There's some nice places here. There are some like high-end resorts here that let me see. I know people that get married right here. Tideline. That's a good resort for people have weddings there and so forth. Four Seasons is a great resort, high-end, lots of money type of thing. But there's a lot of places like that. I want to go here. Playa in Lake Worth. There's an area here that they built. It's called the Lake Worth Casino, and it's the famous casino that you can't gamble in. It's pretty funny. It's not really a casino. They've got a ballroom upstairs. People have weddings there. If you want to have a great scenery, it is fantastic from that perspective. There are some shops down below. There are some shops down below, so that a lot of people go there. And I think it's really actually built fairly recently. I don't know why they called it a casino, but they did anyways. Anyways, it was built sort of recently, and it's right adjacent to the beach. Walking the beach is one of the nicest. This part is one of the nicest places. The boardwalk, the pier along the beach is just beautiful. If you want to go to the beach, you have your what do you call it, lifeguards here. So okay, I got to go to this. What's good about having a lifeguard is one of the things you need to be alert of is the sea life out there. And one of the things, because we have warm waters here in South Florida, are sharks. So you got to watch out for that. I did one of my previous Lake Worth videos. There was a shark scare. And the lifeguard is back here saying, come on in. And he basically wouldn't let anyone in the water for quite a while until they had a handle on where the shark was. So the lifeguards also, obviously if someone's in trouble water-wise, close to drowning, they'll jump in and help you out. But one of the other things they do is they do watch for that. Because the remedy for that is don't go too deep, but they occasionally come in a little bit. They come in a little bit further than we would like, so you have to be a little bit careful of that. The other thing, what's nice about the coming to the pier here, there is there's a sign. There's a sign here somewhere along this area here, basically with the temperature and it gives you temperature, the temperature of the water, the current, how aggressive it is, the flags along the lifeguard will tell you how strong the current is, where you have to be careful. There's a rip tide. You do not want to be dragged back into the ocean. That's a problem. It'll tell you about whether there's man of war. That's one of the things that they have a problem with. It also around here are jellyfish and man of war. So they will tell you on that sign all the things you need to worry about on that particular day. So one of the things you do have to pay for parking here. When you come across the bridge, you do have to pay for parking. One of my pet peeves, and you've seen in my videos before, I hate paying for parking. We pay so much in real estate taxes, we shouldn't have to. If you go to the beaches up north, like Juno Beach and Jupiter Beach, you don't have to. But here in Lake Worth, they do charge. And by the way, if you walk away from your car, and I know this firsthand, if you walk away from your car for literally 2 minutes and to go check on something, come back, they will ticket you. So be careful. I was able to get out of that ticket, but just be careful that they are quick on the trigger when it comes to that. All right, moving on. Let's go living in Lake Worth all the way west now. All right. So I got to go here. John Prince Park is a nice park. Now, I play softball there. There's lots of stuff you can do there. When my son was in Boy Scouts years ago, they did events there. The Boy Scouts did. They have, as you can see, a boat ramp. So it's a really nice park. Some of the places around here might be a little bit dodgy. So you've got to be careful. Lake Worth is one of those places you need to know where you're moving. There are some places that are a little bit dodgy. I would not recommend moving there. Not that I'm allowed to steer people. I don't steer people, but I'm just telling you, check out your crime statistics. That's important. And there's a couple places around here that you might just want to be a little bit careful about, and just make sure what you're getting yourself into. YMCA, great place. I love YMCA. If you're looking for fitness and so forth for the kids especially, and all kinds of stuff, that's one of the places. Not just that one, but YMCA as a whole, highly recommend. Let's go zoom out a little bit. All right, now we're going to go. This is sort of this military trail is one of the streets that they use here, one of the roads they use here to describe going from east to west. For whatever reason, it's just sort of like if I zoom out, you can see where it is. So they'll consider a lot of this western Lake Worth. That's sort of the dividing line. This is your downtown in here. Green Acres is on the way. Green Acres is a very affordable area. Housing there does not cost that much. It is a little bit city-ish, and it's stuck literally right smack in the middle of Lake Worth, because this is considered Lake Worth, and this is considered Lake Worth, and this is Green Acres. So it's in the middle of it. It's like the little thing they just put right there. That's Green Acres for you. Anyways, going on, the other thing that this is a very popular place. If you are a bowler, this is a place to go bowling. People from all over the area, not just in Lake Worth, but all across West Palm Beach, Boynton Beach. They all use this. I want to say this, Boynton Beach. A lot of areas in Boynton Beach are similar to Lake Worth. They border each other, right? Boynton Beach is just to the south here, and so you'll see a lot of people that live in Boynton Beach that literally are borderline Lake Worth. So Journey's End, that's a great community. It is considered Lake Worth. Some people might say it is. Some people might say it is Boynton Beach. Villamar just closed out. Some people might say it is Boynton Beach. It really has a Lake Worth address. These are two communities I really, really, really like. So there are some really good areas there. Winston Trails, here's another one. Borderline Lake Worth and Boynton Beach. So this is a really big community. It's a golf community where you do not have to be a member, which is good, because membership communities, if you want to learn more about membership communities, reach out to our office. Some are mandatory, especially if you go to the south part of the county. They have Boynton Beach, in particular, they have some mandatory membership fees, which all cost you a lot of money to get in, like initiation fee, and a lot of money each year that you need to pay in social fees and golf fees. It might be as much as like $15,000 a year on top of your HOA fee. So you need to be very cognizant of that. Use a realtor. They'll help guide you as to what's what in that regard. Palm Beach Skate Zone. So if you say you cannot go ice skating in South Florida, you would be wrong, because you can go right here. I've used this place. I used to play hockey. I used to do a lot of skating up north when we lived in New York. And I came back and we got a little refreshers on my skating here. I do a lot of inline skating too, which is another great sport. But these people are aces. If you want to join a hockey club as a junior or a teenager or whatever, they have some great hockey leagues in there. But these areas in here, I mentioned Winston Trails. There are a lot in this area. Let's go here. Wycliffe is a membership community. That's one of the other ones you need to watch out for in this area. I'm not saying you can't buy in there. You can, but just be careful of that. Florida Turnpike is your main street, is your main road going north to south. If you are going far away, if you're going to Disney, you are going to Florida Turnpike. It is the easiest. It is a toll road, which pisses me off. You shouldn't have any toll roads here, but if the prices were a little bit less expensive, I wouldn't have as much a problem with. But to go from like Lake Worth to Disney, it is about $10. So back and forth round trip, it's $20. But just to give you an idea on what it costs, if you go to Palm Beach Gardens, it'll cost you a couple bucks. Palm Beach Gardens is right up here, a little bit further. It's just north of. There you go, Palm Beach Gardens. Just north of Lake Worth. So I personally, if I can avoid the turnpike, I do. Anyways, this road here, now these are going back into some of these neighborhoods. This road here, Lyons Road. In Lake Worth and in Boynton Beach, there are a lot of places here called the Canyons. And Bellagio is a 55 and older community. Another good one. If you're looking at 55 and older communities, there are some great places here. Our team has a good handle on which ones you want to consider. Reach out to us. We will help you. Bellagio is another one. If you fit in that category, those are some good places. So along Lyons Road here, you've got a lot of these canyons. You've got canyons this, canyons that. They're all through here. Also, you got a lot of Valencias. Valencias are like 55 and older communities. They are mainly built by here's Valencia Shores. You've got like literally 11 of them, I believe now. They are 55 and generally speaking 55 and older communities. So they're all GL. But if you are interested in that, they in a little bit higher HOA. We've got to talk on HOAs. Most of the communities here in this area have homeowners association fees. Your association fees are going to be a bit higher when it comes to 55 and older communities. But anyways, one of the reasons why people move out here to this area, and say you're not 55 and you're younger, is they have some good schools. There's a school here called Park Vista, which is a really good school. It's a A-rated school. So some people, I've had lots of clients that have come in and they have said, listen, I want that area and I want to make sure I'm districted for Park Vista. Villamar is one of the communities I mentioned that is districted for that. Anyways, we did that was a new construction community just literally a couple of years ago. We did a lot of business in there. So if you want to look at like Park Vista, we can sort out which communities are districted for Park Vista. But on that subject, just because you're districted for a particular school doesn't mean you need to go to that school. There are some awesome charter schools. And of course, if you have money to spend, there are plenty of options when it comes to private schools. If you have questions about that, again, reach out to our team. One of the things that's great about Lake Worth, Western Lake Worth, is that you are close to you're close to Wellington, right? So basically the border of Wellington and Lake Worth is Route 7 and Lake Worth Road, which is right about here. And here. So you have the Wellington Green Mall is right up here. You can't really see much of it here. It's right here, right in here. The map doesn't do this area justice, and I'll tell you why. Florida grows so quickly, and and the map just can't keep up as to all the growth. If you're on State Road 7 on Lake Worth Road and you go up to Southern Boulevard, which is Route 98 here, there is a ton of stuff. You see it, you wouldn't think there's a ton of stuff. There's a lot of shopping that's come in there in the last, let's say, 10 to 20 years. And some of it, even the last few years, a lot of it doesn't show up. They will put the more popular ones like Trader Joe's. Everyone seems to love Trader Joe's. There's a great Whole Foods here that people know. So if you're interested in Lake Worth, Western Lake Worth, there's the Wellington Green Mall. So what's one of the reasons why people choose Lake Worth, Western Lake Worth, is the shopping there is intense and it is awesome. If you are looking for new construction in the Lake Worth area, there are a few options. So I did a video recently on Windsong. Windsong is right here, Route 7, it's in between Lantana Road and Lake Worth Road, right down here. It is considered Lake Worth. It is, although if people like to say it's Wellington because Wellington doesn't really have any new construction itself, it is considered Lake Worth. It is right here. It's an amazing location because you're really close. You're really a quick ride into the mall, Wellington Green Mall, and you are get a head start on everybody going into Boca. So if you want to go to Boca Raton really fast, this road here, Route 7 or Route 441, which is the same road, is a quick way to get to the southern part of the county. So the location is great. Also in here, we have some new construction. That's the Fields, which is just closing out. It's in here right near the skate zone. That's just closing out. It's sort of close. If you work south, you're moving to Lake Worth and you work south with say Miami or Fort Lauderdale, and you want easy access to the Turnpike, which is the fastest way to go north and south here. The Fields and these areas are really good and really a place that I would consider if I was moving to South Florida and moving to Lake Worth, Florida. So Lake Worth, it is so different. As I mentioned, the west to east. One thing I neglected to mention when I was east is there is a lot of artsy stuff here. They do each February, they do a Lake Worth street painting festival where they close the streets down and you paint the streets. It is cool. In downtown Lake Worth, if there's a wall that's blank, it will not be blank for very long. They have paintings. They paint the walls. If you're by the pier, they have the municipal pool over there. You will see the colorful wall they paint there. Every street in downtown is sort of like that. So there's a big difference between east and west. But I will say this, overall, Lake Worth is quite the artsy. If you're that artsy kind of person, Lake Worth is definitely a place I would check out and consider. Lake Worth is one of those places we do a lot of business. It is such a diverse area, and you really need, when you're looking at Lake Worth, you really need to work with a realtor because there are some areas that you probably, you want to know what you're getting yourself into. Let's put it that way. So Lake Worth is one of the areas we do a lot of business in. And it's because it provides a lot of value to people moving here to South Florida. Palm Beach, Lake Worth, paradise here in South Florida.